AVRant and SVS have teamed up to bring you an unbelievable opportunity. Have you been dreaming of dual subwoofers? Perhaps you'd like to upgrade your entire 5.1 speaker package. Don't have the cash? AVRant and SVS have your back. Go to www.avrant.com right now for your chance to win your choice of dual PB1000 subwoofers or a Prime 5.1 satellite speaker package. Contest ends September 30th. Don't wait. Open to the residents of the United States and Canada. We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
All right, PJ of the Absorptive Cats. I think I remember making that joke, but it's gone away. Is he the one that had the cats in all the pictures or something? Is that what it was?
Well, he had one cat,
right.
and it was a a hefty cat.
He was asking about room absorption. I was wondering how
That's right.
how fat that cat was. All right. Anyways, he has an old PlayStation 3, the fat one, that uses it as a Blu-ray player, as do I. When he first got his new Denon X2200, he set the HDMI audio output of the PS3 to automatic, which caused the Denon to show multi-channel in on the display. He read on the forums that in order to get lossless audio, he should set it to bitstream and allow the Denon to handle decoding. Is this right?
Half
no,
yes,
it
half
is.
no.
Well, if you want it to show up that way, that's what you have to do. I don't do that, because I don't want to have to switch my audio streams every time I want to watch a special feature. So
yeah, there's a little bit more to this as well, though, because which version of the PS3 FAT do you have? Because the original PlayStation 3 is the ones that actually had a PS2 built into them hardware-wise. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those ones were never updated to allow bitstream output of HD audio. They couldn't. The chips they had, they couldn't update them. The really original ones. But then there were fat PS3s that they brought out after those. I have one of the ones that could play PS2 titles, but only via emulation. They took out the physical PS2 hardware, and then you could play PS2 games via emulation. Those ones did get the update. So there were some fat models that allow bitstream output of HD audio, but the really original ones, they were never updated. So actually, Dolby themselves have a good guide on this, because the PlayStation 3 has 2 places where you need to set audio settings for Blu-ray discs.
That's the worst part of the PlayStation 3 is all the stupid audio settings. It's like three different audio places in there and 2 different video places.
Yeah, so the actual sound settings, those refer to the system itself and games, as well as like built-in apps. All right, so the sound settings, if you choose bitstream in there, you only have the option of regular Dolby Digital or regular DTS. Those are the only things that the system itself and games can bitstream output. So you don't want to choose bitstream there. You want to choose 5.1 or 7.1 PCM there, because that's giving you the full lossless quality for those things. But inside you would never think to look here, but inside the video section, there is a submenu for BD audio.
Right.
All right. So it's under the video settings, but there is BD audio.
Right.
And there, once a disc is playing, okay, you can't even do this in the system menu. You have to have a Blu-ray disc actually actively playing. You press the triangle button to bring up the menu, and you can choose between bitstream, I forget what the name is, lossless or something like that.
I don't know.
Or it might be Bitstream Direct, I think, is what it's called. Something like that, anyway. But there's Bitstream that, and then there's like another one that says Bitstream, but that's down mixing it to just regular Dolby Digital and DTS, and then PCM below that. So if you have those options, you want the first one, you want that direct one, and then Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio will actually light up on the front of your display. But let's, for the sake of argument, say PJ has one of the original PlayStation 3 FATs that never got the Bitstream update, because it couldn't. You can still get full quality as long as you're not talking Atmos or DTS-X. All right. because the PlayStation 3 could always decode Dolby True HD or DTS HD
Right.
Master Audio, not losing any quality, just fully decodes it into PCM. That's fine. Something's got to do it. So the answer is if you have one of the oldest ones, the system settings to PCM, either 5.1 or 7.1, and then the BD audio setting to PCM. If you have one of the later fat models that could bitstream output, then you would set only the BD audio portion to bitstream direct.
There you go.
Yeah.
He also has a Sony BDP S5100 Blu-ray player he could use instead if it would be better. Are either or both of these capable of bit streaming or PCM in the best audio output? He's very confused. Well, let's just back up. The decoding has to happen. It can happen
Somewhere.
It can happen in your receiver, where you will bitstream out from wherever it's coming from, or it can happen in the player, which would be your Sony or your Sony. I'm sorry,
That's right.
the PlayStation or the Blu-ray player that you have.
Yeah.
Objectively, maybe not subjectively, but objectively, the difference in sound should be 0, regardless of which player you use and which place it's happening. So if you have it decoding at the Sony versus, except for Rob's specific case where it can't bitstream out, so you do it there. If it's bitstreaming, if it's decoding at the Sony PlayStation versus the Denon receiver, or the coming from the Sony Blu-ray player and decoding there, or having it bitstreamed out at the receiver, it should sound the same everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The difference is,
but
some of them will show a BD, they'll show you DTS master audio on your receiver, and some of them will not.
some of them will just say multi-channel in,
And
which is still fine.
still fine. And
But if you're talking about Atmos and DTS X specifically, then those must be sent via bitstream out of the player. Those have to be bitstream out for Atmos and DTS X specifically. So your BDP S5100, it absolutely can bitstream out the HD audio. Read the manual carefully because you must set the audio output to auto. There's no other setting that you can choose for that. The audio output must be set to auto, but by default, there is a second option that says secondary audio, and that by default is on. You must manually turn that off. And it explains that in the manual, although maybe not super clearly. But if you turn secondary audio off, but you leave the audio setting to auto, then it will send out the bit streams. So as far as the PlayStation 3 settings goes, come to avrant.com. We'll have a link to the Dolby step-by-step, this is how you set up your PS3 to get lossless audio, because it's even easier than listening to us say it. So we'll have that link for you at avrant.com. As far as your Sony goes, all you have to worry about is turning off secondary audio. That's that.
All right. Lastly, he says he got anxious after hearing about the SVS giveaway and went ahead and bought a single, for now, SVS PB1000. It puts his Polk PSW 10 to shame. That is supremely unsurprising.
That's right.
That's what we would have said. But we would have said it nicer because we wouldn't have made you feel bad. But now that you've said it, we totally agree. That I told you. I think at one point I said that your subwoofer was going to feel bad for itself, and it does. It's like, I have been shamed. That's what's going on right now. All right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.